Okay, good morning or hello everyone. I'm trying something new. I got a tripod. I had to get an adapter for the iPhone after I bought the tripod because I realized there was nothing I could put on there. So I'm just upping up my production game just a little bit. So I'm trying it on another project that I'm working on. I wanted to see what it was like to be on a clear background or plain background. But okay, so that is me, and I got to figure out how I'm gonna handhold it, things, whatever. But this is me. Hello, how are you? So today I really want to talk about what Bootstraps, because it reminds me of some things that I've been talking about lately are equality or should we even be looking for equality, because data shows that equality is not the answer, is not the thing that that is working. It's just not. So everybody has a different idea of equality. So that was actually what I talked about at my DevOps Atlanta talk, and I did a video the other day. And so when we're talking about inclusion, I love how I've defined it as experience, because I'm going to speak from a black person in the United States. So if this excludes other people, this is intentional. So it is what it is. And I hope there's some lessons that you can take to wherever you live. But I want to bring it back to during, it was the 50th anniversary of Martin Luther King's assassination. And they brought this video up that I had never seen, but I heard the quote. And it was like, privilege, or white people are always telling blacks to pull themselves up by the bootstraps, or people who are impoverished or not a part of privilege, without understanding that they don't have straps or boots. So you put the onus on the oppressed person, the marginalized individual who's been treated poorly, to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. And there's no such thing, because the bootstraps don't exist. And so what happened to me is, and I wish before I got so excited about testing this out, but I will include it. I saw a research study yesterday, and I will link the two gentlemen who conducted this research study. But can you see this? Oh, no, you can't see that. Oh, crap. Okay, never mind. So what I'm going to read you is exactly what we're talking about, and exactly what I was talking about. We need to stop looking at equality. We need to stop looking at quotas when we're talking about inclusion. Because this data shows that, and it came from Quartz, and I'm happy to say that I am a new contributor to Quartz, and I start writing for them next week. But it's a new platform, and it says and it's at QZ. So sign up for them on Twitter, but I'm actually specifically working for Quartz at work. So, and I don't have that Twitter handle right now, but you can find it. So, it says, in the U.S., a college-educated black person has less wealth than a white person with less than a high school education. What the flaming fuck? It's like, oh my God. So they show, and I put this, and I hate that you can't see it because of reflections, but if you go to my handle, you can see, I posted this yesterday. U.S. median household net worth by race and education. So it's white and black. So less than high school education, whites make $83,000 and blacks make $2,800. High school education. Whites have a wealth of $118,600. Blacks, $6,700. So we're not even 1,000. We're still in the hundreds. Some college, whites are $135,400. Blacks are $18,200. College, whites are $268,000 to a black $70,200. Post-college, with the fuck I'm getting, which is this doctor's degree, which I am going into freaking debt about, is $455,000 and $455,200 to a blacks $141,100. That discrepancy is almost, it's more than double, it's almost 3 times, and that's where the problem is. So I get so sick of privilege saying, oh, can you explain? What's the problem? Aren't you working hard enough? We've given you these opportunities. Your opportunities mean shit. There is no such thing as equal treatment. We saw that in Brown versus the Board of Education. We saw that in all this separate but equal stuff back in Jim Crow. There is no equal when privileged individuals get to determine what equal is. When marginalized individuals don't get a say in what's equal to them. That's why I love that, to me, inclusion is about experience. So if there's a white person who has who is post-college, is making $455,000 as opposed to $141,000 to a black person, equality and quotas is not the thing. What you need to do is make sure that the experiences are similar. I don't care. So if you recognize that this is a problem, for me to have the same experience, you're going to need to bump up not only my salary, you have to bump up how my voice and how it's amplified and that it weighs more. There is so much about this conversation that people aren't willing to have or just are oblivious to. But then I'm going to stop there. I'm going to say, because I didn't know this stuff. You can feel it as a marginalized person that shit's not right. That's saying, oh, but you got the same stuff. It doesn't ring true. But once you see the data, it just like blows your freaking mind. And I had to tell people, I always tell people, I'm sorry that I don't come with a PSA. Because what that would mean is I would come with a PSA and says, once you've been informed, you can't go back. So what happens to marginalized individuals is once they have a conversation about this, I get these messages or I see them the next day or whatever. And they're like, Kim, I couldn't sleep last night because I replayed everything every time that someone white or a system of privilege said that, oh, this is the best we could do. And it wasn't. It was the best that they were going to offer me because they devalue what I had. And so and as you know, I've been on this Stack Overflow campaign because this ties totally into this. This is why privileged individuals, and again, I really would like to know how many people of color work at Stack Overflow, because you are not in the best position to tell me what my experience, to improve my experience, because this right here shows that it's just, privilege is so stacked on your side that you're just completely oblivious to everybody else who's not that. And then it affects me. Fuck the morals. Fuck the politics. Fuck, you need to be doing this for the right reason. It is hitting me in the pocket. And this is why I said I wanted Stack Overflow to give me a thank you. Because the fact that they were responding to other people and not me, it is dismissive to me. And they may not see it as that way, but this right here proves that. When I'm speaking to a privileged system, when I'm speaking to white people and you talk around me or you loop me in sideways, you don't directly speak to me, it's dismissive. And I'm going to keep having these conversations because we as marginalized individuals in the United States, and I'm just going to say blacks because I don't have the Hispanic or Latina perspective. I don't have Asian perspective in the United States. I don't have Muslim or Indian. I have a black woman in the South's perspective. And my perspective is that white privilege in the workplace continues to shit on marginalized people. Particularly when you're talking about employers who are telling developers that all I want to see from you is your GitHub and your Stack Overflow score. That's already a barrier right there. So that helps improve the numbers for whites because privileged individuals wrote this gamification system. They know how to play this gamification system, and this gamification system is exclusionary to people who are not white male, and you can see it by their data. So until I have a sit down conversation with somebody at Stack Overflow who has shown me a plan for attacking these things, I'm going to keep having this conversation. Because yesterday someone said, when I was asking, they were talking about the data that I requested. And when I asked them for that data, it's not any data that I requested. I didn't ask them to look in their data about women and how their women's what was it? How people were responding to women on asking questions, and how if that was toxic. That's not a question I asked. Maybe that was some question some white person asked, but that wasn't a question I asked. And so we're going to go down that rabbit hole. Do you have the data? And you don't, because you haven't split it up to show how white women have been, how the percentage of white women and what people are calling toxicity and marginalized individuals, how they've been retreated on the site. If you don't have that, that's not enough data for me, because that does nothing to tap or touch the fact that this right here is my issue. This right here, we're building technical communities, building technical businesses that are discriminating, intentionally or unintentionally, against Black people in the United States. And that's hitting our financial pockets, but yet you tell us we need to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. This is crap. So that's what I had to say today. And again, I'm testing out this. I actually like it. I'm going to see how I can, I don't know, because it actually gives me more, I'm a, kinesthetic person, so it helps there. So thank you. Have a great weekend and have a wonderful day.